Welcome to my Osriel unitless deck. I've been meaning to make a unitless monsters deck for a little while. I know this isn't the first one in existence, but this is my take on it, and I'm having quite a bit of success. A couple weeks ago I made an Iglace deck. Similar concept. This is much more consistent and much more powerful, and the same kind of idea where I play uninteractive entirely, and my opponent is bricked. And in the current season, with so many removal cards being played, and revenants, archers, and I mean the rebukes, there's tons of bricks, and these decks are very consistent and very powerful actually. What I do here is first round, I do a lot of thinning. I thin out my Foglets, I thin out my Wild Hunt, and I also play Penitent to thin out my Pugo when consumed. Now I can consume these fellows, or I can just use Pred Dive to dive my Penitent and still get my Pugo. So there's a couple ways you can do it. There's also some pulling cards here. I used the Double Cross to pull my Yigurn, because ideally I would like to get Yigurn in the grave first round. If I don't have it, I can still consume Pugo. 3 points less, it's okay. Otherwise, what I do here is I thin out first round, and then pass no matter what if I have last say leading into that third round, and I can play pretty easily uninteractive the entire round. And then in that last turn, or second last turn, I would probably play my Alpha Werewolf, and then last turn Osriel to consume my Yigurn, and then to drop the Woodland Spirit for my Force of Nature leader. And in the process, I'm also double procking my Alpha Werewolf. Now for removal, I play Ragnarok. Ragnarok will entice my opponent to stack a row. And now if I play Ragnarok a couple cards into the third round, my opponent will play the rest of the cards, or at least 4 more cards ideally, on the front row, in which case I'm lacerating, and then I'm also playing Surrender, which works great against dwarves. Now you might say, why not play Ardgaith? Now, Ardgaith, ideally, I would have to play it twice. It's a little bit cheaper. It's a 12 for 9 Echo, but this is just the way I went. And you could take this a different direction and insert Ardgaith, and that's also uninteractive. But otherwise, Heatwave, Curse of Corruption, some Pred Dives, some removal, and some immune cards. This is a pretty cool deck. I've been having fun with it. I hope you enjoy. Okay, mobilization. It could be some Revenants. Maybe even a Sabrina deck. Okay, good. It's nice to have my Penitent in hand to begin. I can pull Yigurn with this. I'll kick one of these. Foglet, beautiful. A Consume is nice. This will be good against Revenants. Yeah, let's start with this. Actually, if this is a Revenant deck, this will be a good test. In which case, I think I would probably Heatwave the Ronvid, or the that recurring card, Radovid. I forget what he's called. All right. Well, it's becoming more and more tempting just to grab this, right? Why not? Okay.
There are things in the universe of which even the sages have not dreamt.
Still get these fellas out. Neuromancy into possibly another consume. It's fine. No, yeah, my Yugurn's gonna die, but Naglfar. Ideally, my Yugurn lives at least one turn. Yeah, I'm not too worried about some carryover.
No! No!
So we're a full 10 cards. I still have last say. No, he won't need to play a card, but we're still going to both get up to 10, so it's fine. Great. A couple row sweeps is good. My Naglfar to pull my Ragnarok. I don't want to brick that. And then I can possibly even pull some Pred Dives. Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm just going to hold this hand. I will pass. Got some resilience, but to no effect, really. Okay, good, good. Now, I'm just gonna kick my Naglfar. I like to see it in hand, it'll be easier. That's good, 4 points in the bank here. Good, good. A Neuromancy for Pred Dive, or one of these other fellows. Let's hope we brick my opponent's game plan with potentially Revenants. Okay, well, that's not a big deal.
I'm a voice.
Alright, my opponent will have 2 of those. Why don't I owe Neuromancy? And just get what? I'm gonna Pred Dive this. I would have used Natural Selection. Maybe that would have been a good idea, but it would have made my opponent less wiser to my double Pred Dive possibility. Or less the wiser. But we'll see if he falls for it again. No. let's hold off. Let's start getting my opponent to stack a row here. Okay. There's the Ronvid.
For this most beautiful of maidens, I shall fight 100 duels!
That should really hamper his archers and his revenants. Now with a deck that's so reliant on targeting an opponent, yeah, this is ideal. Okay.
Mind your words, and who you address, and how you address them.
Well, let's see. Now, if my opponent can get some engines happening, that'd be great, but let's just werewolf. I'm going to pred dive my own werewolf if my opponent doesn't play anything. We'll see here. Yeah, so I think I'll be able to just pred dive his Dawnamir. Where's Botchling? Yeah, let's just pred dive that.
Mary, that's what matters.
Okay.
The king pays well for every dryad scalp.
So we can kill this. It's fine. Now with boiling oil, he would potentially be able to purify my werecat, and I don't want that to happen. And with Defender on board, he's likely to stack the front row moving forward. Okay, let's hope that spawns in the front row also. Beautiful. Now, let's go like this. If I were to use a Lacerate, he'd be able to get 1 point pings off these guys, so I thought that would counter-interactive. Or counterproductive. So I might actually end up just trashing my Lacerates. Oh, I could do back row Lacerate. He's going to get more value if I play the Lacerate, so let's just go like this. Okay, now that's a better... Intriguing. Let's see. Now if I play this, I'm going to ping this down to a 1. He's going to get some value. Otherwise, he's going to get no value from these folks. Let's just dump that. Okay, well that plays for 2, and you can actually kill it.
Nasty business, that.
And turn it into a 3. But I should have no problem making up that difference with my Azrael and my Woodland Spirit.
Tomorrow we supper home.
Okay, good game. Alright, Ursine Ritual.
Skellige's glory!
My opponent goes first. If he is running a Lippy, the row attacks are going to be pretty effective. I don't want this in hand. Foglet, Curse. This will pull my Yigurn. Okay.
Step together, no rest, no reprieve.
Great and grievous.
Now, of course, Saris pushes a ton of points. But I can do some catch-up, actually, with... Alright, getting Blood Eagle in his deck, I guess.
Said you no poke with sharpie stick.
Raid, we fight, we plunder. Full service.
Okay, right now I have a Lacerate playing for 10. 12.
Reasons for the feeble of heart.
13. Although we got a little bit of bleeding happening. Now there's an argument that possibly I should have played my Foglet beside that to consume. It's okay, let's Now, if he actually removes my Yigurn in this case... Oh, Blue Boy.
Come on, let's go. Time to face our fears.
2 good pings. Well, let's consume these. If my opponent passes, a 13-point Lacerate. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay.
I need your hand.
It's gonna be tough to get a Lacerate bigger than that. Let's just, I don't need to win on even. I just need to win. So let's go ahead and just play Natural Selection to remove that, just in case he's going to try to get some points from... yeah, I don't know. Okay. Now, possibly I should have held off, or should have did this earlier, but at least I get the win. Okay. So I'm up by, in that case, 5. Now, ideally, if my opponent relies on his Blood Eagle for something, and I deny it by having Unitless, I will deny some points. Unfortunately, it'd be nice to get this, or one of the Riders out this turn. What are we at here? I have 5 cards, so I'm going to kick one of the Werewolves. Pred Dive. Let's pass. It would have been nice to get the Riders out, but I mean, ultimately, it's not going to happen.
Die already, or need I kill you again?
Okay, that's good. It'd be nice to pull my Surrender so I can sweep out his Saris row, which we know is happening. Good. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Okay, so, I mean, My Pred die is probably going to play for
Stand
5.
before the Queen of Skellige.
Let's not get in the way of me,
4. Sorry, 4, yeah. Although this actually continues the line sweep here. Well, we might as well just drop the Pred die. My opponent may not necessarily be playing a Lippy deck. May have just used Cerys for some thinning.
To arms, all of you!
Okay.
Look closely, kiddos, on thy courageous mother.
Okay, so I would like to thin this row, or to have him stack a row. I think ideally I'm just going to drop Ragnarok right here. Okay. Good. He's going to probably stack the back row for the next 4 turns. There's no reason I can't play Werewolf. Although, shoot, he's going to get some residual pings from his Herald. Okay. Okay, so assuming he has... Well, there's no sense worrying about it, really. Let's just play another werewolf. He's going to ping off, potentially 4 more times. I know he has a Blood Eagle in hand. So the Blood Eagle will be bricked. I've got a Surrender right now playing for 5. Sorry, not 5. 10. Now, maybe that was tricky, playing this Curse. Or, sorry, playing that before Curse. That's what my opponent has. Well, I mean, I have 1 6-point card. He has currently 4. So, odds are in my favor. But, hard to say. Okay.
Finally!
I will not bend my neck for that cripple.
Okay, so currently I have a Heat Wave playing for 5. And he has a Bricked Blood Eagle. Good game.
The North must be destroyed.
Now, the tricky part with this leader, Double Cross, is that he may want to grab my Osroot before I get a chance, so that can be a problem. I'll hold on to Pred Dive, especially without a Consume at the moment. That's good to have both of those. Nice to have this in hand. Yeah, I need that Werewolf. Alright. Well, unfortunately, I don't have one of my consumes. Okay. That's a pretty tempting pred dive, gotta say. I'm gonna... But you know what? I need to thin my penitent, so...
You can't hide from my judgment.
This is damage an enemy unit. So that would have been a perfect pred dive, no doubt. But I'll hold off. For the sake of thinning. Now my opponent could invo that if he's being really sneaky. Seize it. That would be devastating also. Lock it. I mean, Nilfgaard plays a lot of... Okay, give it assimilate. Or give it spying.
Suffering ennobles, friend. You'll be a count once I'm done with you.
Now I will be able to pred dive my Foglet. Oh, so much for that.
No one can hide from me.
He's going to have to consume something. Unfortunately, can't remove the Foglet, but I can get some point value from Pred Dive. Could thin out my riders. Now if I use the double cross, I'm going to pull my Alpha Werewolf, which ideally I do not want to do. Okay. I still have dominance, so let's go with this. Looking pretty good. Now I'm going to need to grab Oneiromancy and keep my Azrael in deck. And even if I drop Yagurn and it dies, my opponent's going to have a tough time making up that point distance, especially with a 10-point lead currently. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple turns here to play my Yagurn. I think I'm going to play it now just in case he invos it. I would like to have it in deck, so let's just drop that. Good. Okay. Now, because of the double cross, I need to pull a Oneiromancy. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I mean, really, I could just drop my Foglet here. And then after that, I'm going to have pretty much all uninteractive except for this. But I would like to dig a little bit, see if I can get my Heat Wave. That's great. Yeah. A couple of row sweeps. Let's play this out. Now, if I was really sneaky, and I left my Curse of Corruption, a Heat Wave, and a Pred Dive in my hand when he clicked his leader, it could work in my favor. In which case, he'd probably have to damage one of his own. but obviously I'm going to hold Oneiromancy. So there's a chance that he'll miss my Oneiromancy if he draws earlier, which my opponent might be interested in doing. Good. So Heat Wave. Yeah, I've got everything I need here to play fully uninteractive. I'll play Pred Dive first, or possibly Natural Selection. Ooh, if I use my Oneiromancy early to draw the Heat Wave, and he's definitely going to, I mean, he could hit my Naglfar, Curse, and what else would be? Maybe if I kept a Lacerate in hand? Okay. Now, these unitless, uninteractive decks can be very frustrating for my opponent, but that's okay. So he's avoiding my Pred Dive pretty successfully. Okay, yeah. That was a good draw for him. Well, it seems like a bit of a sham here, but I'm gonna have to use a 2-point Pred Dive. If I would have played my Natural Selection to tick this, I probably would have ended up Pred Diving his Harpy Egg.
Let their blood break their bones and spirit!
Well, maybe I should just Heat Wave that. If my opponent's playing a lot of spies, especially if it's a devotion deck, yeah, so a tough time getting some value. Yeah, let's just go ahead and it's gonna hit that Harpy Egg, unfortunately. But yeah. Trying to entice my opponent to play more back row. Okay, well, I can tag that with
Your name,
Curse.
man, should be cursed into an urchin.
Please wait, Your Excellency. I'm falling behind.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Oops, I don't want to do that. If I hold this in hand, he's going to take out his own card. And if I get rid of Naglfar, it'll be a brick. And if I have this, it's worth basically nothing. Okay, back row.
Have the heat, or prepare to suffer and die.
There is no shame in fear.
Okay, well, if I use this right now, I could then remove my remove Glennis next turn, so let's do that.
For the Duquesa!
What makes more sense here? Obviously hold my curse. Play the highest card. Lacerate. Yeah, let's lacerate. Well, there's a chance that I can just remove this. Beautiful. You probably won't get a ton of Glennis points anyways. That'll play for a point for me.
Her grace will not be pleased.
Okay. I think it would have made more sense to hit the emissary.
That is all I need.
Hopefully he has a bricked invocation in hand. Oh, that's too bad. Good game.